Diversity makes us stronger. Why is it under attack? We're going to get into it. Let's get it. Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation or follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcast, YouTube exclusive content, and our YouTube membership. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, this is Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dadding a little bit. Then we're going to be talking about the Lavender Scare. And then we're going to be talking about what are my ghetto limits. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can call it. I can call it.
I see. So, what can you call?
First of all, a lot of people might not be affected to this depending on where you live, depending on your circle. We're in another government shutdown.
Yeah.
I know several people who are not working right now.
Mm-hmm.
It affects my job.
Mm-hmm.
It affects my job. I don't work for the government, but there are ripples that ripple out.
Yes. Yes.
And Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth had a little pep rally yesterday. For those that don't know, we are filming on Wednesday. Yeah, right. For those that don't know, we're filming on Wednesday. This show is going to come out in 2 days. But yesterday, they had their little pep rally where they called in, I think it was like 800 generals and admirals, the top of the military services. The top people were called in to basically the top brass was basically called in to be given a damn lecture. So did you watch any of it? Did you see any of the clips?
No, I can't. But I know about it. Yes.
I would encourage it because it's quite hilarious. You know, I'm currently watching this DC television show, The Peacemaker, right? Stars John Cena. It's a great show. Yeah. Peacemaker originally came out in the movie The Suicide Squad, and I'm paraphrasing his quote here. But Peacemaker would say, I'll do anything for peace. No matter how many people I have to kill, I'll kill any and everybody for peace. Sounds really ridiculous. It was meant to be a ridiculous statement. Yes. Yeah, Pete Hegseth basically said that yesterday. He basically said that yesterday. What are some of the key takeaways? Because let me get to them, because some of these are just absolutely ridiculous. And remind everyone out there, this is in front of the top brass in our military, career military people, 4-star generals, 3-star generals, admirals, the whole nine, everybody, right? Yes. The top of the top.
Yes.
Trump was advocating for using U.S. cities for military training and possible deployment, describing an internal conflict as the nation's primary security challenge. Basically, they've labeled Antifa, which isn't a group. Antifa is not a group like the Proud Boys.
No.
Or the Oath Keepers, right? It's not some group.
Right.
And they did that on purpose.
Just people who are anti-fascist.
Right. But they did that on purpose. They did it on purpose, purposely, just be like, hey, use Antifa. We've labeled them a domestic terrorist. Now we can do whatever the hell we want with them. So anytime you want to protest against any of what the president is doing, they can label you Antifa, even though you have probably not given money to Antifa. You probably didn't even know what Antifa stood for. You ain't even got no black shirt.
They don't know, because no one should be against being anti-fascist, except, fascist leaders. So the word Antifa itself, it's an abbreviation that has lost its meaning, because they're just using it as a substitute for this imaginary group of left-wing, liberal, ultra-liberal domestic terrorists that don't exist.
Kind of like woke. They just repurpose the word.
Right.
But it's the deployment of troops to cities, which is actually illegal unless there's an insurrection.
Right.
We've only had 2 insurrections in this country, in this country's history.
Mm-hmm.
One led to the Civil War. The other one was January 6th.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
People protesting you stripping away rights is not an insurrection. That's a protest.
I just want people to be aware that this is foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They are preparing for an internal conflict because they know that the things that they have planned are going to piss off a large majority of this country. And so they are preemptively preparing by saying, hey, we're going to start deploying the military on domestic soil for this so-called internal conflict.
Which is, once again, ladies and gentlemen, illegal unless there's an insurrection, and you can't just label anything an insurrection. There's specific rules and regulations for insurrections. So I've been hearing a lot of commentators, former like retired military, retired generals and admirals saying, look, we're not going to do anything that's against the Constitution. Yeah, the president is kind of our boss, but if he directs us to do something illegal, the majority of us are not going to do it. So this idea that they're going to create some loyalty and from the military, they're going to have to fire a lot of people, which they're angling for, because another key takeaway from this thing was Hegseth unveiled a new directive tightening fitness and grooming standards and proposed a full embrace of traditional warrior culture while dismissing diversity incentives. So basically he was like, look, this is a man's military initiative. What did I say?
Incentives.
Oh, my bad, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what they think those are. They think diversity initiatives are diversity incentives. So you're not wrong.
Basically, he said, we're going to do things by man standards. Either you meet those standards or you don't get to be in the military. Effectively saying, like, women, we don't really want you in. People of color, we don't really want you in either. Mm-hmm. If you're gay or lesbian, we damn sure don't want you in. This is what they're saying. They don't want any diversity. He also stripped away being able to report any malfeasance quietly. He said it's either out in the open or you can't do it. This is also a man that has, an accusation of sexual assault. So he's trying to get that out the way. He wants drill sergeants to go back to the brutal, archaic way of training. And he also says he wants to get rid of rules of engagement. Just break the law in warfare. So, look, it's drawn criticism from everybody, even people in the military community. They said during this meeting, Hegseth was like, yo, if you don't like it, you can resign. Trump hinted at the same thing. Hey, y'all don't get on board, we'll just fire you. Yeah. But my thing was this. We're shutting down the government because they're saying that there's so much waste, right? That there's so much waste that we got to shut down the government. All the while, they gave this pep rally, which didn't give anything, didn't update. There wasn't anything of substance in this pep rally.
No.
All while costing the taxpayers multiple millions of dollars to move all these general and admirals who were stationed other places, who had to be moved discreetly because they're in like battlefield type situations, just to give this pep rally all behind a huge American flag, trying to bring about General Patton's speech, because supposedly that's one of Trump's favorite movies. So yeah, it was humorous and also very scary at the same time.
Yeah, because it's right out of the fascist playbook, right? It's like you go after the media. He's done that. Next, you get the military under your thumb. And that's what he's doing. Like, this is
That's what he's trying to do.
That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
This is right out of the play. They're going play by play, y'all. They're going play by play. It's happening in real time. The quiet part's being said out loud. Like we should all be very, very concerned about the direction in which this country is going.
I would say, yes, all of this is real. All of this is important. All of this is dangerous. But I got to be honest. And it's not me living in a bubble. When you start to exclude everybody and say, we really only want this one specific thing, you minimize your numbers. Then you become outnumbered.
Yeah.
And once again, there are military leaders who, one, they were disparaging by basically saying, no more diversity. We're not doing this DEI stuff and this woke stuff, which, by the way, military is not doing woke stuff. They just
when has the military ever been woke?
Don't ask, don't tell is literally in our generation. Like in our adult generation. Don't ask, don't tell.
When have the armed forces ever been woke?
That they're not, right? But they've become more inclusive. But I mean, you want to know how maybe he's trying to take it back to World War II, when the black soldiers were forced to be cooks or given really dangerous frontline missions. Because if you go all the way back to the Civil War, when they had black soldiers, either they ain't give you no job or they put you on the front line where you were cannon fodder. Where you were cannon fodder. So I mean, and let's not even talk about how there were so many black soldiers that fought in World War II, Korean War, and in the Vietnam War who were denied their GI Bill when they came home. Yeah. All because of Jim Crow and segregation. So
so I'm just wondering, when has the armed forces been woke?
I guess now when Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump look out to all the generals, they just see a little too much gender and color, and they wanted to reflect them.
You know who also wanted in a military that reflected a certain image?
Who was that?
Hitler. Hitler wanted people to look a certain way, a way that he himself didn't even look.
Didn't even look. Wasn't even that.
Wasn't even that. Doesn't matter. Yeah. That happened before. This has happened before.
The difference is, here's the difference. The difference is, in Nazi Germany, he made all the Germans feel like they were something important and everybody else not. And in Germany, you can do that because everybody is German and the minority is everything that's not Germany. Here in the United States, yes, white people are still the minority, but guess what groups are in guess what groups are in white people? The LGBTQ plus community, right? Roscoe, I need Roscoe to chill out. What's Roscoe?
That's not even him.
That's Roni. Roni never used the bark. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my sister's dogs. But you know what? We're going to keep on going. But anyway, as I look at it, everybody he's disparaging, like they don't have enough numbers. And there are military commanders who won't break the law. There'll be some that will, but there'll be some that won't break the law. So
you got to understand, you're asking people who have put their very lives on the line to protect the Constitution of this United States. You're asking them to do things against the document that they have risked their very lives and dedicated their entire career to upholding. Good luck. I'm sure some will fall in line, I'm sure. But I'm sure a vast majority will not.
Even if it's not a vast majority, even if it's just half and half, you know, I'm going to take my odds. Because you know what?
Yeah.
If we got to go at it, we got to go at it. If that's what you want, let me stop, Court. Now, that's not what I want. I don't want that. I don't want that. But a realization needs to happen to this administration. And I feel bad for everybody caught up in the shutdown and everybody caught up in this pep rally, which is what it was, and it was a joke. And everybody knew that there was a meeting with all the TAP generals. I had no clue. First of all, I was tripping because I was like, yo, why would they bring all of our top people and put them in one place? Isn't that kind of dangerous? I know we have the best armed forces in the country, but that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, they specifically don't do that. Like there was actually a TV show about the one person that they'll leave out of certain meetings so that if something happens, this person can assume like responsibility forever. I forgot what the name of that show was.
You're talking about a designated. It's a designated something.
Designated survivor. That's it.
But that's for the State of the Union. But they do that also. But they do have a former military general was saying that they do have a yearly thing where the majority of the brass get together in DC. Not everybody knows about it, specifically because everybody's not supposed to know about it. But they're announcing ahead of time, telling them what state is going to be. It's going to be in Virginia. So there's only so many bases that it could be, when it's going to be. And it wasn't private. They televised it.
Yeah,
they televised it.
They're not smart.
No, they actually, Pete Hegseth, I did some research. Do you know this bastard has a BA from Harvard and a master's, I think, from Yale? Like he has a bachelor's and master's from Ivy League. All the while the administration is saying going to college is bad.
Yeah, all of them are Ivy League graduates.
Yeah. He's not a big stupid man.
Like,
well,
he can do his homework. Man. That don't mean that he's smart. I'm sorry. Like, I know a lot of people with advanced degrees from big universities, and when common sense is chasing them, boy, they haul ass. They are too fast for it. Like, they can't catch them. Can't catch them. So no, that don't mean nothing to me. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know the first segment, we don't normally start heavy. We do normally dilly-dallying, but I just thought the absurdity of this was so important to talk about. And it's gonna get a little bit more serious because it leads into the second segment. When you attack marginalized groups, what's the after effect? And guess what? As a historian, I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but I studied history and I see a circle. Our lives is not in a line. It's a circle. Everything that we once did comes back around. Yeah. And we did this once before. It was called the Lavender Scare. And we're going to get into that next. Jay, I mentioned it before in the previous segment. Have you ever heard of the Lavender Scare?
I have not.
Okay, most people have not. Most people have heard of the Red Scare. Now, if you don't know what the Red Scare is, the Red Scare refers to two major periods in U.S. history when widespread fear of communism and leftist ideologies led to political persecution and civil liberty violations. Sound familiar? The first Red Scare occurred in 1917 to 1920, triggered by the Russian Revolution and labor unrest. The second, more widely known, took place during the late 1940s through the 1950s, coinciding with the early Cold War. During this time, anti-communist sentiment resulted in aggressive investigations, blacklists, and public accusations by figures like Senator Joseph McCarthy. You all remember this from our U.S. history, okay?
Yes.
These moral panics resulted in dismissal and ostracization of thousands of people suspected of communist ties, regardless of actual evidence. So that was the Red Scare. Most of us learned about the Red Scare when we were taking history somewhere in the process of learning about World War II and our conflict with the Soviets and communism and how everybody was scared to death that people were communists in this country. If you don't know about the Red Scare, what education did you get?
An American one.
Well, no, because even we got American ones in the South. In the South, they still taught us about the Red Scare.
Now, let me just say, Virginia has a great educational system. So,
Is it?
just yes.
It used to be. It
No, it
used to be.
is.
All right, okay.
Yes.
So what's the lavender scare? A little different than the red scare, right? You would think of lavender, you see red. Red almost kind of means danger. Lavender kind of
Yeah.
means, oh, it's a calming influence. No,
Yeah.
not
Course
this.
not.
So the Lavender Scare was a period of intense anti-LGBTQ plus discrimination in the United States federal government, spanning roughly from 1947 and 1975, during which thousands of gay and lesbian employees were fired or forced out due to widespread fears that they possessed a security risk and a moral threat. Now, when I just say that, why does that sound familiar? Maybe because we just heard this threat from Pete Hegseth, the so-called Secretary, not of Defense, but the Secretary of War.
Mm-hmm. They don't even know what that means. He was a National Guard. You don't even know what that means.
You know what else he was? He was a National Guard, guarding detainees at Guantanamo Bay.
Great.
After September 11th.
Mm. Oh, so
yeah.
You can let your imagination run wild on that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. All right. So the Lavender Scare emerged during the Cold War, like I said, alongside mainly commonly known the Red Scare. Executive orders and loyalty programs initiated by President Truman, not Trump, Truman, okay, in 1947, and then expanded in 1953 by President Eisenhower's executive order, authorized the investigation and dismissal of federal employees suspected of sexual perversion, which was a coded reference to homosexuality. Officers claimed that LGBTQ plus individuals were susceptible to blackmail and therefore security risks, despite a lack of supporting evidence. So what did they do? Between 5,000 and tens of thousands of federal employees lost their jobs, resulting in public humiliation, financial ruin, and sometimes tragically suicide. And these were all tied directly to these purges. The government's actions also contributed to a broader societal discrimination, including school board firings, suspected gay teachers, landlords refusing to rent to queer tenants, and media spreading sensationalized stories conflating homosexuality with communism. Being publicly identified as LGBTQ plus made continued employment or personal safety very difficult during this time. Does this sound familiar to you?
Yeah, very much.
Does it sound like, is it 80? Nah, it's more than 80. Nah, it's 80. 80 years later, 80 years later, we are putting people in the LGBTQ plus community in this all over again. Pete Hegseth just said it yesterday. We don't want you in our military. You can't even go fight for your country? Can't, but back then it couldn't work for federal jobs.
Right. And you realize that this ridiculous notion that they're a security risk because they can be blackmailed is only because they exist in a society that demonizes them for who they are.
I don't mean to laugh, but you ain't speaking nothing but the truth there.
How about we change the way society treats its members? How about we do that? No, but this is exactly, I mean, so the Lavender Scare was for queer folks like writ large. Hegseth is specifically targeting transgender individuals and barring them from service, and gender affirming medical procedures have been paused. So, and then he's also, of course, criticizing DEI initiatives and LGBTQ plus representation in the military. So very, very similar. Very, very similar. A lot more targeted this time. Because if you're black and trans in the military, goodness.
Well, they learn, right? They learn from their hatred, because what happened is through this scare grew so many different activist groups for the LGBTQ plus community. I always, the L and the B and the G and the T, they be screwing me up. My tongue get tongue tied. But so many different groups grew out of this to fight for their rights. They even, which they should have, combined it with the civil rights movements of the 60s to counteract the discrimination that they were facing, and got laws passed so that you couldn't discriminate based on sexuality or gender.
Right.
So now they're attacking specifically transgender, and listen to the coded words that they are trying to do. They got boys playing girls sports. Give me 2 cases where that's the case.
Yeah.
Give me 2.
I'll wait.
They're going to harm the women when they go into the women's bathroom. Women don't have to necessarily be afraid to be harmed there, because there's plenty of heterosexual men that are out there assaulting women every day. Matter of fact,
standing right outside the bathroom. You ever been to a club?
Oh my God. Matter of fact, if you look at any statistical measurement that there is, women's overwhelming predator are heterosexual males that are not trans or gay or anything like that.
Nope.
Cishet
men.
Matter of fact, who are the largest perpetrators that are pedophiles?
Cishet men.
So what they're trying to do is say, don't look over here. Don't look over here. Look over there. Look over there. You know, we're the good ones. They're the bad ones because they're different, because I look like you.
Right.
Hey, don't be afraid of me. I look like you. No. And this has been going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I'm giving a history lesson. I know sometimes y'all like it, sometimes you hate it, but there's an overall theme, and I'm sure that you can point that out. What was done once before is being done once again. And if they continue to control what we teach our kids in the school system, these things will continue to happen over and over and over again, because nobody will know that it happened before.
Right.
I did not know about the Lavender Scare until recently. I, a historian who has studied history in the United States, this is my time period, American history from World War II all the way to the Clinton administration. That is my bread and butter. Knew nothing about this. I knew about the discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community. I had no idea that there was a Lavender Scare that equaled the Red Scare. And I guarantee the majority of the people that are listening to this who are not in the LGBTQ plus community, or some who might also be in the LGBTQ plus community, did not know about the Lavender Scare.
Yeah. It's and to see it repeated again on a very similar scale it should be very alarming to everyone, because what the Lavender Scare did and what the Secretary of War is trying to do is remove protections and oversight mechanisms, right? Like the Lavender Scare depended on removing due process safeguards for employees, right? And Hegseth is proposing changes, you said this, to how complaints are processed. He's reducing anonymous reporting, expanding commander discretion, revising definitions of what bullying and hazing means. They're removing gender identity as a protected category under the military equal opportunity programs. Like, it's the same thing happening again. And as alarmed as we should have been then, we need to be equally or if not or more so alarmed now.
Yeah, because I tell you where it's going. I can tell you where it's going because I tell you where it's been. So the Lavender Scare legitimized discrimination nationally. It set a precedent for exclusion of queer people from federal job, businesses, and schools, with similar practices adopted not just at the federal level, but also at the state and local level. It pushed negative stereotypes into the mainstream and conflated homosexuality with criminality and encouraged intolerance in public spaces.
Yeah.
So when you do these type of things and you say these people are different, you need to look at them different, you need to treat them different, guess what? It happens in everyday life.
Yeah. And that was my earlier point. The reason why you can even make even though it is a fallacious argument that there are security risks is because of the fact that you are, by doing these things, targeting vulnerable populations for exclusion. You're reinforcing fear, stigma, harm, like consequences for people's careers, for their lives. That is going to infect the general public. And they're going to fall in step. A vast majority is going to fall in line with that. And it just keeps perpetuating itself. It's the same. And so then you have people that have to fight tooth and nail for visibility, right? And to make their, concerns and the harm that's being done to them in their community known, right? And then, then they're criticized for being woke, right? When they start to advocate for themselves and for their own, I don't know, just basic respect of me as a human being. How about that? It's not that hard. I even lost my train of thought because I'm so upset about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all are watching the video, you can always tell when my sister is super engaged because she leans in real close to the camera. And then in the editing process, I can't do nothing to fix that. And then she looks giant.
Just leave me blown up.
She looks
I don't
giant
care
on the screen because
it's
real. She leans in, so she leaned in to the camera and then give it to you.
Yes.
But so I have this new philosophy because there are people not in my personal orbit, in my professional orbit, that always they say woke underneath their breath. They know not to say certain things around me because even in professional setting, I'll come at you. Like, I don't care. I'll burn all this shit down. Like, I don't care. Like, I get another job. I got the privilege of having a college degree and some various different experiences in the workforce. I can always go back to bartending and be just fine. Okay?
At the end of the day, we still got a thriving gig economy. Right? I'll be fine.
Look, I can bartend and do this podcast and I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot less stress. But these people that are in my professional orbit is just like, I don't feel like I should have to say they, them. I've been coming up with a counter. I've been like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to call you, insert this name.
Yeah.
Well, that's not my name. Well,
doesn't matter.
I don't feel like calling you that name. Well, that's my given name. That's the name you told me to call you, but they said respect their pronouns. You can't do that. Why should I respect your name? I'm not going to. So this is your name. And your name might be dipshit. Or it might be not, I don't know. I was trying to think of a funny thing and I couldn't. It was like flat ass. You know, it could be something, it could be something disparaging, you know?
Yeah.
But since you don't want to give people respect, I'm not going to give you respect. Those that want respect, and to quote Tony Soprano, those that want respect, give respect. If you don't give no respect, you get no respect.
You get none. Yeah.
And I'm like, I stopped being semi-friends. We weren't friends. We were semi-friends. We were walking dogs together. And we got into a huge argument about the LGBTQ plus community. I keep putting that plus and the T in the wrong. I'm sorry. It's a lot of letters.
It's a mouthful.
And y'all know I got a speech impediment and a stutter. I'm trying my best, y'all.
Everybody is giving you grace. Don't worry about it.
I will never call it the alphabet community because I feel like that is disrespectful. I feel like that specific comment is disrespectful. So me and this person were walking the dogs, and they were like, it's a choice. I said, what now? Because I didn't know this person thought this way. I said, what now? Yeah, it's a choice. They don't have to be that way if they don't want to. I was like, have you ever dated somebody that was not your gender, like the opposite? No. Why? Because I'm not attracted to them. Exactly. They're attracted to what they're attracted to.
Yeah.
It's not a choice. And do you think that they would go through the history of discrimination and subjugation and persecution
oppression and all of that? Yeah.
For what? If they could choose, who would choose? Who would choose
to be persecuted?
The only person I know
on a societal level.
The only person I know was Jesus.
He didn't choose that. It chose him. And my man rose to the challenge, but like he didn't choose that. He even asked, Father, why have you forsaken me? He did choose that.
Well, the point I'm trying to make, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we've been serious. I got to lighten the mood by saying something stupid that I know that my sister's going to respond back to. But the point I'm trying to make is, leave people the hell alone. They ain't bothering you.
Yeah.
And if you're like, well, I don't want to see that. You know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see people drinking 8 Pepsis and no water. Yeah. That's what I don't want to see. You know what I don't want to see?
There's a lot I don't want to see.
I don't want to smell people that smell bad. Watch your ass.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm tired of you using every H word when you know your breath stink. Hey, Jonna, how are you? Yeah, don't do that. I got a lot. I got a list that I have to endure. The hell?
I used to always love it back in the day when somebody like just randomly, hey, you want some gum?
Yeah.
That was the way of telling you,
that
hey,
was your way.
Breath stink. I'll be quitting like, hey, I got some mints in my pocket. You want a mint?
Yeah.
I'll pop a mint in my mouth too so they don't feel alone. Let's do it together.
I'll ask, when's the last time you've been to the dentist?
See, you are way more insensitive than I am.
No, and I don't find that you're being offensive. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's can tell when their breath stink. Yeah, you taste it. I can't. I'm not insensitive for calling it out. You're insensitive for getting in my face, and you know you could taste that on the back of your tongue. You know you can.
And you know what?
That's rude.
Despite all of this, we're not forcing those people into, demeaning them and saying that they can't hold certain jobs. I mean, we don't want to be around you, but I mean, you still get a chance to exist in all your stinky breath ways.
Yeah, I'm just gonna offer you some gum.
Just gonna offer you some gum. And I don't recommend this. So this is not a suggestion from Bruce or anybody from Unsolicited Perspectives. But for those people that do have a problem with people in the LGBTQ plus community because you think your religion says that they shouldn't exist. All right, well, I mean, I guess you can try to gently approach them with your religion and just say, I had somebody from the Mormon faith one time ask me, hey, you want to go to church with me? I was like, you think I'm a heathen? I am. And no, I don't want to.
No, don't do that.
No, I don't want to. I know the history of Joseph Smith. I don't want to go.
Keep that BS to yourself.
What BS?
Don't go around and try to.
I said this is not a recommendation. I think I said that off the top that it's a dumbass idea.
Don't get jumped out here. Don't do it.
Hey, look, you will get jumped.
Yeah.
You will get jumped.
Don't get jumped out here.
I find it funny, but not. That it doesn't take much to see where things are going once you understand the past.
Right.
Like it doesn't take much. There's a famous quote, and I'm paraphrasing, but life is understood from the past, but lived for the future. So you understand life from examining the past.
Yes.
And you move forward and live for the future. And I think that we need to all take that to heart, because they are literally trying to take us back. And that's not how you live life. You live life forward.
It's their slogan. MAGA is this is the slogan. We literally want to go back. No, thank you.
It ain't gonna happen.
No thanks. They're trying their damnedest, though.
Yeah, they are. They doing. They got a lot. They got a lot done.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
just ask the folks during the Civil War what happened when they realized they ain't have enough people to fight.
What happened?
So go ahead. They had to come knocking, asking us. So go ahead. Go ahead and try to, move people out push people out, and also you're gonna be left with eight folks with a couple of Glocks and 3 tanks. That's what you're gonna be left with.
Yeah. Good luck.
Actually, I hope you have the worst luck possible.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic. I thought that was pretty clear by my inflection in the tone.
I honestly want you to just go to hell.
All right, Jay, to bring this to a lighter note.
Yes.
What are your ghetto limits? Now, I could tell you one of mine off the top is I hit my ghetto limit yesterday listening to that pep rally. That was ghetto as hell. There was no part of that was classy. It was ghetto. Matter of fact, the administration...
It was selling Teslas on the White House lawn ghetto.
No, Trump just posted on his Truth Social all the gold in his presidential office, in the Oval Office.
Very ghetto.
So ghetto. But what are some of your ghetto limits?
Y'all, don't tell me you'll drive and that damn check engine light is on. I am tired of getting in your car and the dashboard is lit up like Christmas. You're not gonna risk my life in this death trap. If I get in and all them lights is on, I'm getting right back out. Take your car to the shop. We're gonna call this Uber, but take your car to the shop. Period.
Oh, that's a good one. One of my ghetto limits, and I was just talking to a person about this, is not showering. Person I was just talking to, today is Wednesday, said they have not taken a shower since Sunday. And I said, that's ungodly.
That's ungodly.
That's...
Because cleanliness is next to godliness. That's ungodly.
I can't. I was like, well, why?
Yeah. Why?
I was like, you got in bed with outside in your covers.
Yeah.
You slept in outside. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what outside is, it's you went outside.
The environment.
You got all the environments all over your body, right? And you decide to get in bed with outside. It's part of the reason why I never go camping. Because you know what? You outside. No. Yeah. That's one of my ghetto limits. If you ain't showered for a couple of days, I'm not going to be around you. I
don't even know if that's ghetto. That's just basic human. Like it's part of just being alive is that you wash your ass. Like
I think we need to define what ghetto is, because some people are going to misinterpret when we say ghetto. This is not code for Black. Okay. No. A lot of people like to say ghetto as code for Black. No,
that's not the way we use it.
In this term, my ghetto limits is a variety of things. It's ratchet. It's at the point where, all right, I'm past that point. Okay. So it could be something like not having proper silverware. What do I mean? If you have a wedding or a special occasion, an anniversary party or anything like that, and it is somewhat fancy, and you have meat that needs to be cut, do not give me plastic cutlery.
Yeah.
I can't cut no steak.
If you give me a plastic butter knife, do not piss me off. Do not piss me off.
I almost cut my hand to the bone.
Yeah.
Trying to saw a steak with a plastic butter knife. That was ghetto. Yeah. And this was a fancy occasion. I bought a whole outfit, a fancy new suit for this occasion. Plastic.
Yeah.
Ghetto.
Ghetto. That's ghetto. Yeah. Don't give me no spork and no fancy. If it's a backyard cookout, I'm expecting the plastic silverware. I'm expecting it. Like that's the proper place and time. Don't have me dress up to use a spork. Don't piss me off, please.
All right, here's another one where I passed my ghetto limit.
Mm-hmm.
My building is basically redoing the plumbing. Okay. So every Tuesday, they got to shut off the water from 9 to 5. Now, most people, that doesn't affect them. Why? Because they at work. I'm not most people. I'm at home because I work from home. So I ain't got no damn water all day Tuesday. I hit my ghetto limit when I could not fill the bathtub because my stopper doesn't work right. And I had to fill pots and pans with water so that I was able to use the bathroom and to wash my hands and all that other stuff. I pay too much money, hit my ghetto limit.
Yeah. Yeah. No. You can't do it. Not this is supposed to be luxury.
Right. It says it in the name. It says the name of the building, luxury living. That's what it says. Yeah. That ain't luxury.
That ain't no damn luxury.
Another ghetto limit that I have?
Yeah.
Not picking up after your dog.
Yeah. These are, we're saying ghetto, but honestly, a lot of this is just common courtesy.
I mean, but isn't common courtesy, isn't when you don't have common courtesy ghetto?
Yes. That's what I consider. One of mine, listen, don't invite me over if you and your partner argue real loud and you don't care who's around. I hate being a third wheel to somebody else's arguments.
That's you. I
literally hate it. You have put me in such a, because you feel like I really want to get up and leave. Because y'all in a full-blown shouting match. I really want to go, but I don't, what's the right opportunity for me to get up and excuse myself? It's hard to find that lull in the conversation so you get up and excuse yourself. Please, if you know y'all fight like that, don't have nobody come around.
Well, look,
don't do me like that.
I'll go you one, not even better, but the same. If I walk into your place of living smelling one way and walk out of your place of living smelling another way, don't invite me over. Because I got all types of body creams and colognes over here to get me to smell a certain type of way. And I'm not going over nobody's place to come out smelling like your home.
Right. Yeah.
Fix your home.
I mean, it's like, what smells are you talking about? Like, if
not if somebody is cooking.
Yeah, it's a lot of time it's like it's food, like if people use a lot of spices or things like that.
And it just linger forever.
Yeah.
No, well, if that's your house that hit my ghetto limit, I'm not coming over because I don't want to smell like your spices that you cooked 3 days ago. Open up the window air it out, spray some air freshener, because I got these expensive body creams that I'd have paid from Body Works. Okay, so they're not that expensive, but they smell good, and I got a lot of them. And I got these expensive colognes, and I done showered and shaved to come up over here. I don't want to walk in smelling one way and walk out smelling the other way, because you know what? I might have to go somewhere. And I don't want people to smell that. Let me give you an example.
Okay. Yeah.
There was a woman that used to give me a ride in high school to school in the morning, but she smoked.
Okay.
So it didn't matter what I did. When I got in that car and got to school, Bruce, she was smoking this morning? No, I wasn't. Yeah. I was in a car with somebody that was smoking, and now I smell like I was smoking, and smoking stinks.
Well, that's your fault. I mean, you already
I only did it for like a week, and I was just like, thank you for the rides, but no thank you. I'm gonna take the bus.
Yeah.
I'll take the bus. I can't, because no matter what type of layers I try to put coats in the spring. I got a full triple fat goose on. Why you got that coat on? No reason. It's to drown out any smoke smell, and it still didn't work.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. Like, but also it's like, if somebody smoke and you don't want to, sometimes you got to take a little bit of ownership of that. But I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Also, don't invite me over if your bathroom not clean.
Well, don't come to my house.
That wasn't a direct shot at you, but you remember one time I said at your house, he was like, you can use my bathroom. I walked in there. I was like, I'll just wait. Look, no pun, but pun intended. I'm anal about the bathroom being clean. I cleaned it. The last time I was there, you said, I cleaned the bathroom. I was like, this bathroom right here? I was like, let me show you how to clean this.
You did say, is it my clean? Listen.
I'm very particular.
Just go to the bathroom.
Look, it's tough for me because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to reveal a secret. I'm like George Costanza. I get butt naked when I go to the bathroom. That's just how I get comfortable. Okay, so it got to be clean in there because I get butt naked. All right, I take off my clothes and everything. And that's no matter what I'm doing. Take off my clothes. I could be washing my hands, still all the clothes is off. I don't know why. I got issues with just things. So it's just who I am. But yes. Yeah. You got anything else? It's ghetto. And you just like, all right, this is it. Because I like being ratchet and hood up to a certain point.
It's fun.
Up to a certain point.
Yeah. It's just when people insist on talking on speakerphone in public spaces.
Oh God, I can't stand them people.
I don't care about what you got going on. I don't want to hear it.
Well, I do, but I understand what you're saying.
I mean, but like, I don't want it. No.
Well, that's like the same thing with people going into the public gym and playing their music with no headphones on. Yeah. And I'm just like, you see everybody in this got headphones on? Go get some headphones. You can go to what is it, Five Below? For $5, you can get you some
$5.
Bluetooth
They
got
a whole bunch of stuff that's $5 and below, and that includes some headphones. Also, this is the last one I got.
Okay.
If I invite you to stay, you better make up that damn bed.
I don't know if this is a direct shot at me. No, I strip the sheets.
No, you strip the sheets and wash them and stuff. No, even if you just crash on my couch, fold that blanket up.
You know what? That is for sure. You and our brother, whenever y'all stay, the next time, if y'all leave, if you're traveling and you leave early, all that stuff is like folded and put up nice and neat. And I'm like, well, I gotta wash this anyway. But thank you for the folding.
But I'm not just gonna just leave it out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. People come over to your house, act like they ain't got no home trainer. I'm like, you don't do this at your own home. You don't do this at your own home. Why are you doing this here?
This ain't a hotel. I don't have a staff that'll come in and clean up. You better make that bed back up, or strip them sheets and put them, neatly somewhere so I could put them in the wash. What the hell?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all what y'all need to do. You stay over somebody else's house and you sleep in a bed, you strip the sheets because some sheets need to be washed. Okay, because you slept. Nobody wants to sleep in sheets that somebody else has slept in unless y'all together. Then I guess
Yeah.
But
okay. But
strip the bed, walk to the washer and dryer, put them in the wash.
Yeah.
Stay, put them in the dryer. Even if you don't stay, put them in the wash at the very least, and say, "Hey, I put them sheets and everything in the wash." Or
If you
let the host know, "Hey, I'm about to do this. Do you like these sheets washed a special way?" I don't ever ask my sister because whatever way that she want them washed, I like them washed better. You got to get that funk, and you got to put it super hot. They got to be boiling.
That's how I wash.
I know. I'm just messing with you because we already on that. You got to wash them sheets. Just the person that was, I asked the person, I was like, "You ain't showered in 3 days? Like, you probably have to wash your sheets like 2 times a day." No, just once a week. No, that ain't enough.
No, just your dirty feet alone. You need to wash them sheets.
Well, so we were talking one time about dirty feet, and it came to my attention. It was like, yeah, I'll walk all around the house. Yeah, I will have taken a shower. Yeah, I have my nighttime clothes on, but my feet gonna be dirty as hell. So I started using socks, and I don't put the socks on until I'm in the bed. And I still don't put my feet in the bed. I put the socks on while I'm sitting in my bed. I put my socks on, and then I put my feet in. I sleep in socks.
Yeah, I wear slippers, so I don't. My bare feet. I don't like walking around with bare feet. It's a sensory thing. I don't like feeling like little stuff on my feet. I don't like it. So I always wear slippers. But yeah, if I do walk around barefoot, them socks is going on before I get in that bed. So a pair of clean socks is going on before I get in that bed. I'm not bringing dirty feet into my bed.
Oh, this is another thing that's past my ghetto limit. If I'm walking around your house because I took off my shoes and I got on white socks, and by the time I put back on my shoes, my white socks is black on the bottom, I ain't coming over your house no more. I'm not coming over your house no more. Because why is my white socks?
Especially if you got carpet.
Oh, if you got carpet.
Because that don't even make no damn sense.
That's the reason why their house smell like that. And I'm in there anyway, smelling like the house when I leave out because they got that dirty ass carpet. But yeah, feet gonna be dirty. Don't invite me to your house. But Jay, what do you want to tell these people out here before we take off?
Yeah, well, when I say ghetto, I just mean it's rude and it's offensive. It don't have nothing to do with race. It doesn't have anything to do with education or socioeconomic status. Anybody can be ghetto if you're rude and offensive.
Yeah, because I started off by explaining that pep rally was ghetto.
It was ghetto, yeah. Selling his little birthday party with the military march, that was ghetto.
Oh, Pete Hegseth,
selling the cars on the White House lawn, that was ghetto.
Pete Hegseth sold his book at the end of his speech the other day at that pep rally. Yeah, ghetto. They exude ghetto. Yeah. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Woo! That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you really feel generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.